seems like every night Pete's kind of the story offensively. What continues to impress you about what he's doing?
Yeah, it was a really good at bat. The third at bat. He made some good pitches on him in the previous at bat and got a strikeout, but Pete battled there, and it's tough getting to him, to Skeens, and we didn't get much going. We chipped away, put a little pressure on him in that previous inning, and then Pete obviously with the big hit and Seiya fouled with a big one.
You discussed a lot of changes or adjustments Pete has made. Can you speak to just the mentality he has now, just not really giving away any pitches or any at-bats?
Yeah, I think it's related to just how he's seeing the ball, and I think he's got a lot of confidence right now, and I can be on go and say no, if does that make sense? Yeah. And I think, probably at points last year he's on go and didn't matter where the pitch was, right? And that's the difference. And I think that just makes you, the right kind of aggressive.
What do you think of Shota tonight?
Well, I thought Shota was good for sure. He's just really efficient. They were super aggressive again tonight. They were pretty aggressive last night as well. He took advantage of that, and I thought he made good pitches with his whole arsenal and used everything well.
All three at bats, particularly with Pete against Skeens, were just really compelling to watch from a kind of baseball perspective, the cat and mouse element. Are you able to kind of appreciate that in the game, watching those at bats play out how they did between?
Yeah, I thought the second at bat. Well, I thought Skeens did a good job of the second at bat. He stayed hard on him the whole at bat, and I think probably caught Pete looking for something soft on the 3-2 pitch. But yeah, it's two guys that are really good at what they do and going at each other. So those competitions are always fun to watch.
Kind of been mixing up your pitches lately. What made it effective against them tonight?
最近はいろんな球種を混ぜているように見えますけど、今日の登板は、なぜそれが効果的だったんですか？
自分の中で、いいボールと悪いボールを、ブルペンまたは初回の試合の中でしっかりと感じ取って、ゲーム前のプランももちろんあるけど、ゲームに入ってからのプランもしっかりと実行できているのが、いい要因です。
I think it's a good trend that in the bullpen before a game, as well as in the first inning, I'm feeling out which pitch I have that feels effective, that I have a good feel for, and there's a game plan before the game, but also during the game, having a different game plan and making those adjustments. I think that's been helping.
Seeing how aggressive their hitters were last night against Boyd, and then aggressive early in counts against you, how did you feel like you were able to counter that?
昨日のボイド選手の登板でも、相手のバッターをすごい積極的に振ってきて、今日もそうでしたけど、それの対策として、自分でどういう考えをしていますか？
とにかく相手が待ってないボールを選択するようにするのと、もし待ってるボールを投げなければいけない状況になったときに、しっかりと意図を自分が投げるべきところ、ロケーションをしっかり考えて、やってはいけないミスをやらないようにということを頭に決めて投げてます。
Yeah, I think just looking at them being aggressive, just making sure like I'm choosing the pitch that they're not thinking about, and then also if there's a situation or a count where I have to throw a pitch that they're probably thinking or sitting on, then just making sure I execute my location and my command and making sure there's no mistake pitches there.
How do you describe what you guys keep seeing from Pete?
そのピート選手の特に最近の姿を見ていかがですか？
本当に最高の1番バッターだと思いますし、で長打も打てる、フォアボールも取れる、で盗塁もできるっていう、本当に相手のピッチャーからしたらかなり脅威の選手ではないかなと思いますね。
I mean, yeah, the best leadoff hitter. He can get extra base hits. He can hit a homer. He can get on. He can steal. I think if you're the opposing pitcher and you're facing him to start a game, I think that's tough.
You study hitters and scouting reports. How do you feel like Pete has changed as a hitter this year from last year?
今の選手も自分自身で相手のバッ ターのスカウティングレポートを見たり、相手のバッターがどういう対策をしてくるかとか考えていると思いますけど、ピート選手を見て去年から今年に比べて、どういう、そういう打席の中の調整をしているように見えますか？
彼の練習している風景とかは普段多く見ることができないので、どのような練習をしてどのようなアプローチをしているかっていうのは分からないですけども、一打席一打席凡退をしても次の打席をしっかりプランを持って、やり取る結果が、彼の素晴らしいところかなと思います。
Yeah, unfortunately, behind the scenes, I don't get to have a chance to see what he's doing with his swing decisions. But watching him play the game, just at bat to at bat, if he has a bad at bat, you just look at him. Next at bat, he's made an adjustment. He has a game plan for that specific at bat, and I think he's a great player.
So much success against the Pirates. I mean, they've only scored 1 run in 38 innings.
なぜパイレーツに対して登板するときにそこまで成功はあると思いますか？で、38イニングで、1点しか取られてないらしいですか？
特に相手がどうだからっていうのはあまり関係なくて、別にパイレーツと、僕3年間やってますけど、いるメンバーっていうのはもちろん変わってる選手もいるんで、なぜパイレーツにそういういいピッチングができるかっていうのは自分では分からないんですけども、でもとにかく相手のバッターをしっかりと研究して投げてる結果なので、そこの要因についてはあんまり分からないです。
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think within the last 3 years, the hitters on their side, they've had the same guys and they've had different guys too. So I think it's more about just researching their hitters, coming up with a game plan, executing that, and I think the results are the results.
Can you take us to that third at bat against Skeens and kind of walk us through how you're able to win that one?
I just had a better approach, and facing somebody third time around. Some days, it's Paul Skeens. So some days it's that third at bat, third look at it isn't always going to help you. But today, it did. I had runners on base for me twice, 2 guys on. So that always helps as well. But no, I just made a commitment to the fastball at third at bat and really just bought in and locked in on that.
I know guys enjoy facing the best of the best sometimes. Do you have fun tonight going up against Paul?
Yeah, I love facing Paul. He's one of the best competitors in our sport, so I admire that the most about him, and I love how he goes about his business, and it's fun to watch that behind the scenes when you get to be in the same clubhouse as him. So I think taking that kind of personal experience into today with me and into any matchup with him, it's fun. I know how hard he works. I know how much he loves being out there and being the face of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So yeah, that's always fun, especially going up against somebody you really like. So.
Does it ever get old, the chance on the road when you have those big moments?
Absolutely not. No, anytime you can, because we travel so well, and anytime you can give people something to cheer about, chant about, just get behind is usually means you're doing something right. So today, there's a lot to be happy about. In terms of the offense, I think we, after a slowish start, and that inning where we had first and third with nobody out and didn't get anything from it, I couldn't help but think that might be a turning point in the game. But being able to lock back in, and Dansby and Miggy just being able to start things off the best that they put up, and then obviously Shota, what he did was ridiculous. He looks so good. So yeah, that never gets old. Hearing people cheer for you so loudly in an opposing stadium, it's great.
Shota had that little blip early in the summer, but he hasn't really given much of anything in a while. What do you say about what he did for you guys?
Yeah, last year was so tough for him in terms of injury, and I'm so happy to see him on the mound, and give us the innings he's given us. I think that the chances we've had when he's been on the mound this whole year really have been plentiful. Like, we've had a lot of opportunities to go win ball games when he's been on the mound, and I think that's who we knew we'd be getting when we signed him a few years ago, and he's pitching exactly like he is capable of, and and he's definitely got some more where that came from too. But yeah, man, he's been incredible. Like, the way that I think he spun the ball a lot in his last few starts, and then today the splitter was really working, the heater was really working. So he's got a lot to work with, and I think the repertoire he's kind of developed, that he's added to, is super fun to watch.
It might have been easy for that frustration of how the second at bat played out lead into the next one. How do you feel like you've been able to stay present in each at bat and attack it individually?
Yeah, well, like today specifically, easy when Shota goes and shuts it down, and we play good defense and keep ourselves in the ball game. Like, Paul on the mound, us punching out like we did, I think that could have been very easy for us to let that get away, and that's just something we don't really do. So, like, buying into the bigger picture and the identity of this team, I think, has really helped me personally. Had a little conversation with Males too about flushing it, and I mean, it's nothing crazy. Like, it's a simple thought, it's just how big you let your emotions get. I feel like for me that usually limits me from moving on like that. So no, just going out and playing defense, trying to process it as best I can, and then just go compete. Really simple fixes, just sometimes hard to do.
How big is Melee for you in game? You mentioned that, and then last night I saw you go out to him after the home run. Just how much does he help you?
Yeah, I mean, that's an everyday thing with him. He's really, I mean, he's been, not to give him too much credit, but he's been like just the driving force of so much of my success, dating back to 23 in AAA when we first got together, and I love him, and he's just really good at what he does. So not afraid to be real with me, and I appreciate that the most, I think, just because it shows me we've built a really nice relationship, but at the same time, like, that's something I need. So in game, he's huge. Like, can't really work on much in game, and he definitely reminds me of that. So it's more about flushing stuff, and he's always there for all of us. So he's great. I love this team. That's my outlook. I again, like, end of the first half, beginning of the second half, when we kind of talked about how much of a grind it's been. Like, I love who's in this clubhouse, just because I think every single person here has shown that they're up for the challenge. Again, it's not easy to come back from any injury and then, like, find your footing pretty quickly, like Matt did, and how quickly he came back and was wanting to get the ball and go. So I really think, like, if we go get pieces, that's only going to help us. Just, again, because I think the way that we're playing and what we're capable as this current clubhouse is, it's a lot of big things that we can achieve, I think, with this group. So whatever the front office does, I assume it'll probably just help our cause, and I'm excited to welcome anybody that finds themselves in a Cub uniform. But for now, and until the deadline, like, I love what we got, and I love what we're doing.